Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod. We have Simon Vacher with us today. He is a co-founder at a fintech that's called Qompa and also Inversiones.io, which is also another of his business that's democratizing the investments in viviendas sociales. How do you translate viviendas
Like
sociales?
social housing, we can say that.
Okay, social housing. Yeah, I see you have like crowdfunding projects in there and all kinds of products. Just pretty cool. It's pretty much it must be pretty new in Peru. So Simon, if you want to tell us a bit more about yourself, your background, and what you're up to nowadays.
Sure. Thanks, Charles, to have me here. Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick resume about like the journey I've taken the last 20 years, and then we can talk about something more detailed. Basically, I come from like a small village, let's say in France, in the center of France. If like do a cross in France, is right in the middle. Uh, there I start growing until like I don't know 18 years probably around. Then I move like to study in a little more bigger city, not that big. I've been to Limoges, on Tours, and Poitiers, which is like three pretty small town around the center of France. And then I start during this journey of studying. I've been in Japan and in Australia. It was like part of the when I've done my master's degrees. I travel like for almost a year between the two countries. It was part of the learning foreign language. Um, then when I start in Paris, basically working for IBM as a consultant, seeing like system implementation and optimization of processes. Then I've been to Accenture basically, and like right after like almost 10 years of consulting, I wanted to do some change. So I've done a radical change. I've moved to Peru. There I start on like some business by myself. So it was like a new country, a new way of working and everything, and also a new sector. I start with a bakery, a French craft bakery. I had enough of the corporate environment, and I wanted to sell product, not selling just services. So it was like a pretty huge move from me because I ended up like in the middle of nowhere in a very small district in Surquillo in Peru, which are like very popular, and it was like yeah, a huge change for me. Also to learn Spanish because when I moved here, I didn't speak Spanish at all. So for me, it was like a big challenge, but very nice. The La Petite France, the name of the business is still running and running pretty good. So pretty fine with that. But right after like 3 years working there, almost like every day, every night, I get back to what I know how to do, like innovation, systems, and also finance. So I've started this code lending platform which called Inversiones.io with a co-founder, Valentin, which also French, but also half Peruvian. So we start this business together with the idea of having an alternative of financing because when I had this craft bakery, it was a nightmare to get money, loan and everything. It was like very complicated. Basically, the bank doesn't trust a small company, so you have to have guarantee on everything. So it was very hard for me to get financing to grow. So it was like my main difficulties for that. So it just had me think that it could be interesting to start a business around that because I always had the idea that I'm not going to do just a bakery. So I always thinking like, what can I do? And it's good to learn like the problem you have when you start a company and see how you can build another company to do that. So it's a way. It's basically the way I'm seeing like my day-to-day life as an entrepreneur, so to see problems and see how can I resolve it doing another company. So I start working on that. I had a couple of friends in France that know how to do that because Marco and Jean-Philippe, my like friends from the small village where I'm come from, I've done a crowdfunding platform in France, Les Entrepreneurs, which is still running and pretty good. So I've been with them talking about how it works, how can I move this from France to Peru, how can I adapt the technology and everything. So I've learned, and for me it was like pretty interesting because it was something new that nobody was doing that in Peru. So I thought it was good. That's why I used to speak with some French around here to see how can someone can help me for the, let's say, the finance part, because I'm not that familiar with this credit analysis and risk and everything. So that's where I met Valentin, and we start building this together from scratch. And after like a lot of difficulties, we've been like live on the market, like probably something like 2 years right after that. And now the company has like 4 years running and is running pretty good. Now, basically, at the beginning, we start financing just SMBs, basically. But now, with the experience and basically with 2 years of, let's say, uh, looking for the market fit, we have encountered this social housing, which has a goal more than making money. You also help like the country just get more like nice. I don't know if you can say nice, but
Better.
house with like a better house, like with all the water on electricity and everything that most of people don't have. So it was good for us to have this additional goal, let's say, in our company. So we start financing that. And to give you some details, we have financed around $15 million the 2 last years, and we have a pretty strong growth lately. So we're gonna start doing that, and I'm happy to do that. And during these 4 years in the market, we were always thinking about how can we get back to the original idea, which were like to give financing to the small and medium businesses, and that's why we built Qompa. No, Qompa basically it's an app that can help the small businesses to organize themselves better, to have a better financial management, basically. And with that, we are able to monitor their day-to-day activity and to be able to, let's say, to give them a scoring, credit scoring, better than just to have like, just a photo and one specific time with the balance sheet basically they send you, with which can pretty easy to make up basically. So for us it's good because you have this information, live information on the day-to-day basis, and it's much better to analyze everything. And we connect like a kind of IA agent to that they can interact with like a chat, like a chat GPT, let's say. You can interact and asking for advice to manage better your finance there, about documents and about everything. And on the other side, us as a bank, almost a bank, we can monitor them and give them like money based on, come on, like, come on, how can I say that? Like
And their
based
interactions
yeah,
and the data that
based
they
on
give
the
you.
day to day. Then to have the scoring, you can take the credit scoring, the classical one, and mixed with this view that we have on the day to day business. And with that, we should be able soon to give them loans. So that's the main goal. For now,
Right.
Qompa is, we are still working on the MVP. We have, it is open to few peoples, and we hopefully gonna launch it in May or June to the market and see how it goes. Basically,
Right.
that's
Yeah, that's a long intro, but doesn't do
yeah,
justice to the full background that you have. I have many
yeah,
questions for you.
yeah,
La Petite France, yeah, I wish I would have known about it when I was there because it's
yeah,
always lacking in most Latam countries, like a good boulangerie, right? Like I'm from Quebec, and we have tons of those due to our French heritage. How was that for you to integrate Peru that first year and to grind at the boulangerie for 3 years. What did you learn from it, and what did the day to day in your life look like back then?
As I told you, it was like a pretty huge change in my life because I was basically wearing suit every day, and there I
And now
was like
serving
just
Peruvians at a boulangerie, which is like something that you never did before. So drastic change right there.
yeah, everything was the language were different because I didn't speak at the moment Spanish. The sector was totally different because I know almost nothing about bakery. Obviously, I've been to France like 2 months to train and to understand all the processes. And as a with my background as a consultant, it was like an exercise that I used to do to understand processes. I'll see how it works and try to see how to implement this. So obviously, it was
With
on the
local
country.
ingredients.
Yeah, local ingredients, because the concept of La Petite France were to replicate like the know-how from France to Peru, or to transmit the know-how from Peru, no, from France to Peru using local ingredients. So I didn't want to import anything. So the butter, the how you say
The wheat,
the wheat, everything was totally different. And I also had to travel around
the
Peru
oven, the
to.
equipments, the
Yeah, nothing,
tools, the
nothing. And
staff.
and I also bought all the oven, all the accessories. I bought it there in Peru. So it was like pretty complicated. Obviously, I've not done that alone. I worked with some French in France, and I bring them back with me in Peru. So I have like one expert that stay like 1 month to build all the recipes, and I have also a young baker that have stayed with me like more than a year, basically.
To
And
train
the whole,
employees or to train you?
no, to train employees. No, I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't do so much, to be honest. Obviously, I know everything like the theory, and I have done some croissant by myself and some bread by myself. But if my bakers are gonna hear me, they're gonna laugh, obviously, because it's not my specialty. But as I told always to my main baker, like if I start to do bread on your business, we're gonna crash everything. So it's better I'm focused on doing business and you're focused on doing bread, and we just speak together to be aligned and everything. And then, but yeah, as I told you, when I've been there, and I also were in a very popular district of
Neighborhood, yeah.
Peru, because it's a kind of I wanted to do like B2B. I wanted to sell this more to restaurant, to hotels and everything. So when I was looking for like a very strategic point in Lima that allow me to be able to dispatch all the potential clients, but I had like a kind of industrial license to be able to bring like the big oven and everything there. So I wasn't able to go like a very like how you say fancy district. I had to be there. So also like just to eat, I remember I was eating like an entry, a main course, and also like some soda and everything, and I was paying like 1.5 euro at the time. No, it was like very different. And this and now it works like I don't know for like 12 years, and the districts have changed totally. Now it's like a fashion district for food. So you have a lot of small restaurants, and the people used to start their business there. And if it's going well, they go like the two fancy districts. So now it's totally different. But when I've been there, it was like very like everybody was saying like what is Crazy French is doing there, like a fancy bakery over there. There was no sense to this business. But yeah, so it was pretty interesting, like the life experience I had when I get there. Yeah, obviously.
Right, and then customers started coming in. They tasted the product. They came back. Did you have like actual competitors or
Yeah,
folks
no,
that were
it's
doing?
it's it's a long story because when I start doing these B2B sailings, the people were amazed by the quality of the bread because it was very good quality. But they were like saying that I'm crazy with the price. Come on, nobody is going to buy me this price for this bread because they didn't have like the culture of this bread. So it was like the bread in Peru is cheap and it's bad, but there is only bad at the time. Now it's different, but at the time they were just bad bread. So basically, it was like difficult to change the way of thinking, the culture, and everything. So it was like a disaster for me because the overall business structure, and I had invested like quite a lot over there. So it was like pretty bad, and I didn't know how to do that. So I changed my view, and I say let's try like the B2C. Probably is going to be better. And I've done a kind of I don't know, like an event where the main event we're talking about French bread, but at the time there was like no French bakery over there. So it was I've been there, and everybody was like amazed by the croissant we have done there, and everybody started to talk about that. So the let's say the brand were pretty well known very quickly at the B2C level. And the end, I start this business with B2C. And now, I don't know, like 80% of my volume of production is going for B2B. But the B2C helped me to build the brand and be able to sell like a better price point my my my
And give
product,
you
basically.
cash flow as well. How is it though to train the staff, the local staff, to teach them customer service, to teach them to be minutious, like to be like very attentive to all details? Was that a hustle?
Sorry, what did you mean exactly by that?
Yeah, the local staff,
Yeah.
Peru, like, was it
The
hard to
people, you
teach
mean?
them?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the standards of great service, of attention to details, which is stuff that is that comes in more natural, I guess, to
No,
like
yeah, no.
Western.
It was the main problem. Like the principal problem of the Peruvian, let's say, is basically the rigor, like the to pay attention to detail. If this is like French to check everything like it's working perfectly. It's something like a lot of French and not at all here. But on the other end, the people are very, I don't know, grateful to learn things, are very like hard worker. They work a lot. So it just compensates the others. No, nobody's perfect, as you used to say. No, so it was quite good there to be able to work with them, to teach them, and obviously it required a lot of patience. But for me it was a good experience. Like I remember my 3 last years there, and it was nice for me. It's nice, and up to now when I go there there is still some people like back then, like 10 years ago, working with me, and I'm always happy to see them.
Right. And I see nowadays you do a lot of online selling on your own website, your own Rappi, and all of these apps. So that's pretty cool. Let's switch real quick to Qompa and inversiones.io because, yeah, we only have a couple of minutes here. Let's start with Inversiones. What was your idea there? And what's been the challenge to you in deploying that in the Peruvian ecosystem? Has it been easy or has it been hard?
The main point, it was new, and nobody have heard like some investment on the platform, and it was really the beginning of that. So it was obviously there were like this community of early adopter, and it was like I don't know. It was, to be honest, it was not that difficult, but we were really focused on this early adopter. Like people want to try something different and to try it basically, no. So it was not that hard to get the first people. We used a lot of influencer. It was the beginning of the influencer back then, and to be honest, it was quite easy to get the first people. And then here, the word of mouth is the main way of communication. So basically, we start doing that, and it's the same with the bakery. At the beginning it was that you were well known because the people are talking about your product, which is good. And it was the same for Inversiones IO. It's totally different. It's another sector, another everything, but it was the same success related to the word of mouth. So doing a good product always paid, and that's the main things I've learned these last years. So obviously it's better if you have a good communication, a good marketing, a good branding, a good everything. But at the end, I've done like two different company, which is like totally different and the opposite. but at the end, it was the same. With a good product, you sell. So I wouldn't say it was difficult. It's difficult more like to scale than to really get the first people. No, you can reason
Right.
that.
And in Latam, it's a growing economy. So you have like less competition and adoption is sort of skyrocketing as the higher class and the middle class is increasing. Have you felt the boost of that wave starting your businesses there?
Uh, you can feel that, but there is, if we're talking about digital stuff, you have to consider that there is a lot of I don't know, like trap, I would say, and lot of like fake companies that just asking for you money. So it's the mentality of the people are very careful about that. So it's pretty difficult to get the trust from them. So that's why the way of we have done that with Inversiones.io is going to the regulator and make sure we can get a license and very like I don't know, very structured way of selling things. So on this help us a lot with the reputation and also to scale. So definitively that. But the emerging market, obviously we can feel it, but it's not that strong, let's say. So yeah, it helps us, and yeah, it's part of our customer. And I can also talk about both company because today I have like this emerging market buying for La Petite France equal the same like for Inversiones.io, but it's not that strong. There is a good growth of this emerging market. Uh, but I wouldn't say it's like amazing, no.
What are your top goals for the rest of this year? What are your objectives?
This year, basically, it's to consolidate La Petite France, just structuring the company to make sure that it's working better and we improve like the rentability and everything. And on Inversiones.io, we are still focusing on the scale. So to give you like some numbers from 2003 2004, we have like multiplied by 4 basically the facturation, the invoicing, the sales, the revenue basically. And from 2004 2005 we are talking about like twice or yeah, twice. That's the main goal, no? So we just to make sure to keep on track the scaling of the company, and we are probably doing that until 2027. It's basically our goal.
Thank you, Simon, for today. Where can people find out more about you?
Sorry, what did you say?
Where can people find out more about you? LinkedIn, website?
Yeah, LinkedIn, definitely. I'm using a lot of LinkedIn. For me, that's the main way of communicating and meeting like very interesting people. And that's the best way to ask me anything is by that.
Perfect. So that was Simon Vacher and Charles Cormier for another